3 long days, some I don't know. It takes a little more than what you show, and that's yesterday. Yeah, yesterday.
Welcome to episode 4 of Bobby Finn Knows Everyone, part of the Pull Tab Sports family. I'm your host, Bobby Finn, along with my Zuccarello, my Robin, my Tom Lord. How are you today, Tom?
Doing well. Thanks for having me today, Bobby.
Yeah. You look a little tired. You have a little tough sleep last night?
I didn't sleep good. Yeah, I did not sleep good, and when you don't sleep good, I kind of feel like you start thinking about weird things. And the thing I started thinking about last night while I can't sleep is, like, why can't you sleep? Like, why do we even sleep as humans? Here's what I think. If people look down on us as human beings, whether they're aliens or if you just looked over us, wouldn't it be weird to feel like, or see like, why are people, they just go 8 hours, they go comatose. They just go like completely off the grid. We're unconscious for 8 hours, all of us together at once. Even in your house, like I know people work during the day, right? Work at night. Not all of us. Most of us probably 80% work during the day. Isn't it kind of weird that we just like our bodies go limp and we just we black out for 8 hours? Don't you ever feel like if people were looking at us that's one of the things I would think people are looking at us from above, like, what's happening right now? Why are these people just like numb and dead to the world? And yet we still like trust all of our belongings and like nobody's on watch. Nobody's on guard in your house. Everybody just goes out for 8 hours and trusts that everything's you wake up totally normal again.
So you think aliens don't regenerate or they need to energize their battery? I mean, that's the whole thing for me is like, I'm absolutely exhausted and right. I need some sleep. And I'm not like some people that only get 4 or 5 hours and they're perfect.
Right.
I need more, and it's brutal if I don't get it. But you don't think aliens need to recharge?
Well, I just think so. Maybe they don't. Maybe they're not from our beings. They're not of our makeup, and they don't need to recharge, or they don't understand what sleep is. This is weird. It's deep, but I feel like there's just like, what's happening right now? Why do these people just lay down and they go unconscious for 6 or 8 hours? It's something you look down on and go like, that's kind of weird. The other thing I was thinking about, it's like, I can't sleep. I was like, pets are kind of weird. Like you've just got like a furry little woodland creature walking around in your house, just hanging out. Like, what is that thing doing? Why do you have a little pet walking around? It's just bizarre to me. It's like, hey, let's take this feral animal and stick it in our house and just let it be and let it roam around. I think it's something like if you didn't understand our civilization and you look down on it, you'd be like, that's really weird. That's super weird.
And we need to recharge, and we're still getting up when the pets are too young to let them outside and all the other crap that goes along with it.
Having a pet's worse than having a kid, I think. You just got to like go outside in the middle of the night while it's raining and just let it like defecate, which is another weird thing to me. If you didn't know our civilization, this is another thing. Isn't it weird that we can like go in a room and like empty waste and then move on with the rest of our day? It's weird. It's super weird. Like, do you think other civilizations need to empty waste? They need to like, do they like refuel and then do they need to empty their waste?
Other species or civilizations?
I just think civilizations. Like species, of course, like, all right, we're all pretty similar. But if there was a different civilization looking down on us, like, that's weird. What are those people doing right now? What are those things doing? They're just like, they're out, they're comatose and they just like go off the grid for 8 hours and then they get up and then they go in this room and they empty their waste
from the front and the back.
From the front and the back. And then they go on and they do weird things. It just
Why does one make them smile so much?
Right. Why do they smile? What are those what are those things on their foreheads, those little furry patches on their foreheads? You ever look at somebody's eyebrows and go like, what are those things? Why do you need those things? Eyebrows are weird.
Especially the painted on ones. My goodness.
Yes. I had my old lady neighbor when I was a kid had painted on ones and they just look so bizarre.
The new ones that people are getting and paying a lot of money for, and they're like tattoos. That's not so bad.
People tattoo on their eyebrows?
I believe so.
To look weird or look different, or just because they don't have any?
Just to not have to deal with the bushy eyebrows.
Do they shave them down?
Well, I think they just take them off somehow.
People that have had breast cancer do tattooed nipples. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
They look dead on real, although I've never seen one in person. But if you have tattooed nipples, please call the Bobby Finn podcast. Let us take a peek.
So so if you're the guy looking down, the alien's looking down, and there's tattooed eyebrows and tattooed nipples,
even tattoos.
Yeah, and
like
tattoos.
why are people tattooed? Why are those beings down there have drawings on them? Right? I just think there's going to be a time, maybe not in our lifetime, but where we have civilizations coming together, because I do believe there's other civilizations out there, and they're like, what's happening in this area? Why do these beings do these weird things? What are these little fluffy animals? Are those? And they don't have they can't talk, they can't speak. Can they think? How does it all work? There's some weird things when you really break it down. And don't break it down in the middle of the night like I did last night and try to sleep, because you won't fall asleep. I mean, there's certain things that I do to fall asleep, but that was not one of them last night. So I'm glad you sleep good, because last night I did not.
No, the funny thing is, I got a text this morning from my mom.
Okay.
Somehow, I think Lori heard that horrible story about that 10-year-old girl last night.
Mm-hmm.
God, just a horrible, horrible story.
I didn't even know about it until you tipped me off, and it's awful.
Just heartbreaking for sure. And gosh, prayers for the family. It's a sad, sad story. But so my mom, Lori must have locked the garage door last night. So my mom lives with us.
Right.
I get a text this morning. I didn't see it last night. She said, if you get up to go to the bathroom, I'm locked out. So she slept in her car out in the driveway last night. I swear to God.
All night?
All night long.
Your mom? She's pretty young.
66.
66-year-old mother.
She slept in her car. She slept in Addie's car in the garage for a little while, but she said it got too cold. So she went out and started hers in the driveway. I'm like, why didn't you call us or ring the doorbell?
Right. Throw a rock at your window.
Anything. And she's like, well, I didn't want you to get up. I'm like, are you out of your mind?
Your mom is a hero.
Well, that's just dumb though, isn't it? I mean, come on. Ring the doorbell. We got the Ring doorbell that will go through every speaker in the house. So it's just like,
you do?
Yeah.
Was she?
Well, I don't know. She might have had a little bit of Grandpa's old cough medicine. I don't know.
You talk about your mom a little bit. She is a rock star, because the story you told me about when you were golfing with King the one time.
Yeah.
And the thing she did. Also, she dropped us off at the Twins game, Twins opener the other day. She drove us all the way to Minneapolis, dropped us off, and drove all the way back to Stillwater. Hey, Mom, do you know how to get out of here? I'll figure it out, Bobby. Tell me the story about the golf outing.
The golf outing, we're just, I think we were on like hole 7, and it was King and Garrity and I. And Kinger wanted some chew. So I said, hey, my mom will go and grab us some or grab you some and then drop it off. And he's, baffled by this whole thing. And sure enough, she went to the store, dropped a tin of chew off on my vehicle windshield, and rested around with freaking greatest round we ever shot.
Hey, Mom, we need a chew. Can you just drop one off quick? Sure, I'll run a quick trip, put one on your windshield for you, and have a good chew, have a good golf game.
Yeah, it's like, what's what Kinger said. He's like, Ma, meatloaf. Dude, such a great thing.
Your mom is an all-star. And then you made her sleep in the garage last night.
Yeah, she, it's like when the pets poop in the house, you wipe their nose in it. Don't you wish you could do that with your kids?
Yes.
Yeah, well, my mom was scolded last night. She didn't come home on time, and I left her outside. Hopefully she learns her lesson. No, that's a joke.
You also turned your mom's bedroom into like a gaming room, which is real cool. There's a bar and a pool table. It's
not her bedroom.
It's close enough.
Well, it's not a mother-in-law house. I mean, her spot. She has her own bedroom, and now she has a little gaming area.
That we play pool in and watch sports and yell and scream and drink alcohol and keep her up all night.
Don't have a kid when you're 15. That probably wouldn't happen. Nah, she's a saint for sure. There's no doubt about it.
You're close. You're close with your mom. It's good.
Yeah, she's a good person.
She is. Awesome person.
Yeah.
What else we got going on this week, Bobby? What's happening out in the world?
Elon Musk.
Oh, right.
Bought Twitter.
Everybody's up in
People
arms.
are going crazy.
Uh-huh.
I don't get it.
Well, are people afraid he's going to change it? Are people afraid he's going to screw it up? Are they, I don't know. I saw something that kind of ripped on billionaires buying social media companies. I was like, I don't know. Aren't all social media companies owned by billionaires?
Yeah, richest people in the world, right?
Yeah, he's a weird dude, but you kind of want to follow him, right? If he was like tomorrow, like, let's get on this spaceship and go to Mars, we need to go now. I might just try to be first in line.
No, yeah, so you can meet the aliens.
So I can explain to them what pets are and why we sleep in the middle of the night.
Why we go to work and why we play sports and all that, right? You'd be
Right.
like the liaison for the aliens.
Right. But so
ET.
are you Elon Musk believer? Do you think he's the next at least maybe superstar technologist, or do you feel like he's a phony?
No, I believe he's a goofy dude, but most geniuses are. I don't think if you went back in history, I think most are just off, and their brain works in a different way.
Right.
So I think he's one of those guys. It's funny. He wanted to raise some money. This is probably 5 years ago. He wanted to raise some money, so he said, "I'm going to invent a flamethrower." And it cost us $1,000. Here I'm going to build 100,000 of these flamethrowers, and one of my buddies bought it.
Just so he did it, just so he could raise money
to invent something else.
Yeah, because he had to pay for something at SpaceX or whatever.
Yeah.
And your buddy bought one.
He bought one. So he's like, "What do we do with it?" He hasn't even taken it out of the box yet. I'm like, "Well, let's start bonfires or roast pets."
I don't do that, but I do think we should get a video.
Glenn Taylor.
Okay, so first of all, back up one step. I think we should get a video of your buddy with the flamethrower. We can show it on the pod here because we do need to see a flamethrower live in action. And then the Glenn Taylor bit. So the first game in Minnesota, was it the first game?
First game.
The activist came and glued her hand to the court. And they dragged her off.
Did you see when they peeled her hands away from the cord, it took up the paint from the cord?
No.
That's how hard she glued her hands to it.
Oh, what kind of glue do you think she used? Like Gorilla Glue or like some kind of, probably not Gorilla Glue because she's an activist. She probably was like not.
I don't know. I think it was like a legit adhesive. So it stuck.
And then think it ripped her skin off? She doesn't
Hopefully.
Really care. Okay, and then you see the last game.
Oh my God.
You and I were together, but I didn't see it until people started posting it. This woman sits in the stands. I don't know, is it the same woman or the same group? And she is sitting courtside, and she's going to decide to jump on the court. We got a video here. Let's see if we can't get it on the pod. And there's a security guard sitting right
there.
Right there.
They knew.
She's like, this woman is not a basketball fan. She is going to do something, which is, you'd think maybe they would get her earlier. Right. But they let her sit there like, okay, you bought your ticket. Probably, you got your seat. We're going to let you do your thing. And she took her down like a linebacker. It wasn't like a chase. It wasn't it was just straight up taking you down. Watch this girl. You can probably see it on Gabe's screen over there. She jumps the court. Boom! Bam! Just freaking takes her down like one of the edge rushers at the Vikings.
Roping a calf right there.
And then did they rope her legs?
Oh no, they roped her arms real quick. They just cuffed her quick.
And then and then they go into the stands like, "Oh, you were with somebody. Is that the coach? I think that's the coach right there, isn't it? The coach." I sound really Minnesotan. And then they take the other one like, "Hey, we know you're the accomplice. You're going with it." She's like, "No, I'm a big fan. I want to watch the game."
That was traveling.
No, you out. You're out, sister.
Yeah, that was great.
That's insane. God.
So it's all for the turkeys? Is that what it is?
What do you mean? What's the turkeys?
Well, the Glenn Taylor with the turkeys, isn't that?
Oh, right, because he owns a turkey thing and they're caged animals and
caged, and I guess we eat them. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a meat eater.
I should be more of a vegetable and garden eater.
Yeah. Is it turkeys or is it chickens or is it egg? Because eggs are. I mean, I could eat more eggs.
Right. I think it's the turkeys.
Okay, and they're not. They're in little dark cages. Okay. So what do you think of the T-Wolves so far? Are you down with this whole playoff run?
Gosh, it's so hard. They're up by 26, and we're sitting in Chicago last weekend. Remember that? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, they're going to lose this game. That's just how this is going. There's no plays ever. They're up by 26 points. All you got to do is run a play every time, and it's almost inevitable you'll win the game. Even if you miss every shot, if you run the damn clock a little bit more. But they look like Hank Gathers and Bo Kimball on Loyola Marymount just firing up everything. They had to score. I'm like, no, you don't.
Right. So I don't get it either. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I think we're both hockey guys, and I'm sure there's basketball people out there that are just like, you don't get the game. And they're right. I don't get the game. But I'm on the bandwagon right now. They're in the playoffs. I shouldn't probably watch them because I'm not a basketball fan. And people are like, then don't even bother watching. But it's kind of weird. It is like they're up by, like you said, they're up by 2 and the guy runs down. He throws up a 3 for no good reason. Like, just run the clock down, run a play and get an easy hoop. Even if you're up by 26, you tell me you can't manage the game well enough to like slow it down and just like pick away. Just put up a point. But everybody just goes down and they chuck threes. Even, the other team.
Well, the other team has to.
They do.
All we had to
but
do
sometimes
is
they
run.
don't. Sometimes they're down by 2 and they just throw up a 3 when there's 5 minutes left. I don't understand basketball. I asked my buddy. God, so he's all in, right? We go meet, and he's got the picture of the coach on his T-shirt. He loves it, and I love it. I love that he loves it, right? It's great. But I said, was that a smart play? Like, why are they just throwing up threes all the time? Don't they like run anything? He's like, yeah, I don't know why. That was just stupid. I don't know why. That's just dumb. And then they're saying the Wolves coach might be coach of the year. Or he's an amazing coach. I don't know. Is he? They lost. They were up at 26 and they lost. They play tonight, right?
Yeah, yep.
Okay.
So hopefully, they got a good team. And injuries seem to be a big part of it. And I heard that Ja Morant, he's injured, and that dude is a stud.
Okay.
Yeah,
he is a stud.
He's unique.
The Wild have some injuries. I'm a little nervous about the injuries they have. I feel like Spurgeon got like shoulder separated the other day, and I feel like Dumba like dislocated his pectoral muscle. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like.
I heard the Spurgeon injury isn't as bad as they thought initially. So I think he'll be back for playoffs. They're getting Greenway and they're getting Foligno back tonight.
Okay.
And the Dumba hit, gosh, it almost looked like he broke his collarbone. So
the Spurgeon hit.
I'm talking about the Dumba hit. When he hit that guy, when he came across the blue line.
Oh,
he's a big dude.
Right.
And he hit him and he got hurt.
Right. And I thought the same about Spurgeon. I thought he broke it. He like separated his shoulder, he broke his collarbone or something.
Yep. Sounds like he's going to be.
Pros breaking their collarbone.
No, but that was a big hit on a big dude, and it just didn't move.
Right.
So I don't know. I think they're in a good spot. They sit all those guys in the last game against a really good team.
They're sitting more tonight too, right? Spurgeon not playing tonight.
Nope,
Dumba's not playing tonight.
Dumba's out.
Foligno's still got COVID.
Foligno's back tonight.
Oh, he is.
Yeah, Greenway and Foligno are back. So
he's got COVID.
Well,
he did have COVID.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Gave it to What's her name? Vice President Kamala.
Yep, he gave it to her.
Yeah.
Virus is spreading. Okay,
yeah,
so
the aliens are looking down, talking about our viruses.
They're like, "What's happening down there?" Well, they're giving it to us. I mean, they're definitely messing with our whole system.
Oh, yeah.
So what else we got? We got the draft is coming up. Let's stay on sports real quick. The draft is coming up. Are you a big draft guy? Everything's a draft. Everything's a mock draft. All the sports talk about, or every sports channel talks about the draft.
Yep. The draft is fun. It's a good time. It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's all. But I think it's a great watch for sure. Sometimes if you're not Mel Kiper.
Yeah.
You don't pay attention that much. I think everybody knows what we need. A couple, a cornerback or whatever. But I'm still convinced that you get a quarterback and you let him sit on a bench for 3 years, he's going to be that much better. So
you're saying draft a quarterback?
I'm saying wouldn't be a terrible call. I'm saying we need a cornerback, but a quarterback, you let them sit. They learn.
Yeah.
We're not throwing them to the wolves.
We might. You know what? I think the pick the Vikes have, you're right. They want a cornerback. They want a defensive player, but quarterback might fall to us. I would think like if the quarterbacks go early, if our quarterback goes early, it's going to push the cornerbacks down. But if those corners go early, which I think they probably will, we might have a shot of a quarterback. I don't think we'll take one. I think they're gonna hold on to Cousins and let him be the guy for the next 5 years if he wants it.
I think for sure 3 years, but I think you're Kwesi. Get it? Kwesi is the new GM.
I think you're crazy. Yeah, I don't know. The Sauce Gardner, Stingley, McDuffie.
It'd be great to have one of those guys. There's no doubt.
Yep. I think they might go early though. That's what I'm guessing. But if I I don't know who are the big QBs you like. The what's that guy's name? Garrett Wilson? He's a wide receiver, isn't he? Is he the quarterback? He's that quarterback, right?
You know, I don't even
That's
know.
the problem. The draft, they don't have enough QBs in this draft, or
They
good
don't.
QBs.
Right. But you never know. Shit, Tom Brady went in the 6th round. You never know what they're going to be. But Brady sat behind Bledsoe. You
Right.
know? Rodgers sat behind Favre.
That's the problem with drafting a quarterback, though. Is like I think you got to let these guys get to the pros, and then you go and you look for one.
Right. And the problem, too, is these GMs are on such a short leash.
Right.
They don't have time to let a guy sit for 3 years. They're throwing him in right away, and they're like, sink or swim.
Right.
You know, so it's kind of a catch-22, I think. I mean, I think a guy like Kwesi, I think Wilf sees how polished that guy is, and they're going to give him a shot. And it's not going to be 3 years unless they crash and burn bad. But
yeah, he's young.
he's young, and I
like him.
listened to him again today. Dude, he's good.
He's sweet.
Yeah, he's not Kwesi.
He's not.
He's not crazy. He's
is
Kwesi.
Not crazy. Yeah, I like him. So I think if I do think they'll go defensive player. Although I don't know. Like I look at that team and I think I don't know. Do you have an offensive line that's great? I know the one guy was hurt last year. He didn't play much. They're picked from last year.
Yeah.
But
why wouldn't you?
You got
build a line?
O'Neal and you
Right.
got the other guy, but like Bradbury doesn't seem like he's fantastic. But nobody's talking offensive line. They're like, oh, we got the building blocks. We're going to be good.
Right. Yeah.
And they're also talking about wide receiver. I'm like, we got good wide receivers,
Right.
don't we?
What is this Debo? All this Debo talk. Trading for him.
Why doesn't Debo go to the Packers? Don't they have enough money?
Well, they should have a ton of money.
Rodgers took it all. He's gonna like
He's gonna retire. He's not gonna
he's
even play.
just gonna like
Oh gosh, Garrett
sink
gets
the
so mad when I
ship.
say
He's
that.
gonna sink the ship.
Yeah, no, I don't know. It'll be interesting for sure. Thursday. I mean, it's a big weekend for football. NFL never goes away, do they?
They have it so dialed in.
Yeah.
Here's the greatest thing about it is they only play 16, 17 games, 17 now. And you love every minute of it. You love every game. There's too many games in baseball. I would even say maybe there's too many games in hockey. I follow it like crazy. But like baseball, COVID season, they cut it in half or whatever it was that one year. It just made everything more important.
Yeah.
And I know it's advertising dollars and I know it's revenue and it's ticket sales and all that, but God, they could get rid of half those games and nobody would give a hell.
Right. And I think I said it before, what Latin American baseball player wants to come to Minnesota and play in a non-retractable roof and it's 30 degrees? Are you kidding me?
Oh God. It's
Brutal.
The day we went, think about that. The day we went, the opening day, was probably one of the nicest days they've had for baseball. And every day since has been cold and rainy and windy and gross. So I hear you.
Yeah.
But I think they should, they'll never do it, but they need to, baseball's in trouble. I really think baseball's
in trouble.
You know, I mean,
Put
your
fighting
kid,
and maybe should put fighting in baseball.
your kid's in baseball, but I think they're in trouble. I mean, does your kid ever tune in to watch a game?
No.
No, I don't think any kid tunes in. That's how I used to listen to the Twins on the radio with my dad. I used to bring out the AM FM radio in my backyard while I cut the grass, and like that was a tradition. But no kids, kids aren't even watching sports, let alone baseball. Maybe some kids are watching football, hockey a little bit here and there. Basketball is probably the biggest money, not the biggest, probably behind NFL, but I think baseball's in big trouble. It takes too long to get through those games, and
they're trying to speed
too
it
many
up,
games.
but I don't think there's a good solution for it because baseball it's an art, right? I mean, there's always something to do.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's very strategic.
And, Doubleday, when he invented it, I mean, everybody's got a job to do at all times. And you got 9 guys all moving on every single pitch. Kids don't have the attention span these days.
Did you just reference Doubleday? Did you just go Abner Doubleday on this pod?
They put that slide in my head up there.
Abner Doubleday. What was he thinking when he invented baseball? What do you think?
I think he was thinking there was a hot chick that he wanted to impress.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And he was going to play pitcher. He was like, I'm throwing heat and she's going to be impressed.
She was impressed, yeah. But no, it's a difficult game to watch, I think, for younger kids.
Right.
It's just too slow.
It is too slow. My kid quit playing baseball. He joined lacrosse and he quit playing lacrosse because he didn't like that either. It's just like, I don't know. These kids are going to be doing who knows what by the time their parents.
Inventing spaceships to Mars.
Well, I don't know why you wouldn't.
Crazy not to.
So speaking of the draft, I did write a article for Pull Tab Sports about since mock drafts are so relevant, top of mind these days. It's the mock draft for not football, but mock draft for Minnesota news anchors. And I don't know if you've got your favorite news anchors, but I felt like it's time. If you had to draft an all-star news team, who would you draft? Because I'll tell you what about Minnesota. You go out of state. We're in Chicago last weekend. You go to wherever, LA or Kansas City or Boston. Our news teams are top notch. Our
solid.
News channels are solid.
Yeah.
And if you read my article, you're going to know KARE 11 is like very top of the line, in my opinion.
I'm partial to Fox 9.
Are you? Okay. Yeah.
But I do like KARE 11. I mean, I like them all. It used to be Channel 5. KSTP used to be the good one, I think, back when we were younger.
Yeah. Okay.
But to me, it's 9.
Paul Majors was Paul Majors was 11.
11.
Yep.
Yeah. And then where did he go? LA?
He went to LA. He's still in LA.
He's a stud out there, So I agree. You watch other newscasts throughout the country. Nothing is
garbage. It literally looks like you're
you.
watching like you'll turn
high
on
school.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like high school. It's like if you watch it in wherever, Kansas City. When I went to Winona State, I remember watching that news and going like, this kind of looks like a Kansas City news. Like they're almost as good as Kansas City. It was awful. But if you had a draft, so you got any picks? Who'd go on the top of your draft board? What are you thinking?
Well, Alex Kendall's pretty awesome.
God,
she's
yeah, I agree. She's fantastic. She's a little spark plug. She's got some mojo. She tells it like it is. She doesn't like pander. She doesn't feel phony. I agree. She's on my list. She's on the big board. She's on the draft board.
She's on the board.
Yep. Because I do, and I also watch a lot of 9 in the morning because I get my kids up for school, so I flip around in the morning. Fox 9 is very good. And I would also say that, I don't know if you're a big KARE 11 fan, but you can't beat Belinda Johnson.
Oh,
really.
Belle.
Belle
I call her Belle.
Yeah, everybody calls her Belle. And she is, if you looked at her, what city would you think Belle's from?
Stockholm.
No, don't say that. Just go Edina. Look at her. She's like Edina through and through. So I looked it up. So I was writing this article. I looked it up. Sure shit, she's from Edina.
Oh,
she's
God.
straight Edina. I mean, you can't get away from Edina when you look at her.
Damn Edina. Everything goes back to Edina.
And she's a meteorologist. She's like scientific and smart, and she's got it dialed in. She knows her stuff.
She knows her stuff.
Yep. So she's definitely on the big board. And then my other favorite, I'll just bring this up quick, is Boyd Hubert. And now I know Boyd Hubert isn't an anchor, but he's got his little special segment, Land of 10,000 Stories. Now, Boyd's got cancer. I don't know if you know that. It doesn't sound great, but I started researching it, and I went to YouTube and started watching his Land of 10,000 Stories. There's like 1,000 of them, and every one is better than the next.
It's unbelievable.
They're
You can't turn it off. It's like a John
amazing.
Wayne movie. When Boyd Hubert comes on there, you can't turn it off.
You can't turn it up, and you can't stop yourself from crying. And I know we're both manly men, but you will shed a tear. I'm not even kidding. You will shed a tear watching Boyd Hubert. There's a story, and there's a bunch of stories, right? But there's a story that's unbelievable where there's a school, an elementary school. I can't remember where it is. It's like St. Louis Park or something, where there's a pond out behind the school, and there was a mama duck gives birth, and the ducklings need to make it through to the other side, and they open the doors, and the mama duck walks through the school with the baby ducks, and they open the doors on the other side, and they go into the pond, and they go and they live their life, right? It happened one year. It's happened like 3-4 years in a row.
Jeez, my
where
kid
they the
gets
same
detention.
thing. The mama duck, and then the next generation does the same thing.
That's a pretty cool story.
It's freaking unbelievable.
Yeah.
Hubert found
Very
that.
disruptive. I'd say duck it.
No, because students, they wrote a book about it, and now they go in the line at the school, and they all clap, and they don't clap because they don't want to scare the ducks, but they all watch. They line up and they watch as they make the little procession through the school to the other side.
How often do they do this?
Every year.
Every year. That's all right.
The new
I
duck,
was
the
thinking
new
every-
mama duck gives birth, and then they make the procession through. I don't think it's happened every year for the last 10 years, but I think it's been 2 or 3
Do they
years.
have COVID?
The little middle duck got COVID, but she took ivermectin, and then everybody had a meltdown, and it was bad news. But let's not get political, Bobby. Okay, let's talk about one more pick. Give us one more pick for your favorite. How about this? This was the trickiest thing: sports anchor, because there's all the sports anchors have like moved on. And now we're having a tough time.
Well, they haven't totally moved on, have they?
Think about it. Shaver's now at the front. He's on the main news desk.
Schmidt's out, right?
Joe Schmidt's still in.
Oh, he's in.
Yep. And in my article, I said I like him because he looks like the Hams bear. I go, it looks like a guy who drinks a lot of beer. In fact, he almost looks like he's turned into the Hams bear. Joe Schmidt's still there. Perkins moved on. If there's a guy who's going to be on SportsCenter, you'd think like Perkins is kind of like, he's kind of a cool dude. But he's moved on.
Perk said, let's play hockey the other night.
Did he?
Yeah.
What's he doing now?
Just saying, let's play hockey.
Oh.
No, he's got a new company or somebody else. I think he runs something. But
okay.
Is Russell Schmoka here still?
Nope. Russell Schmoka moved on. That is a blast from the past.
He lasted for about 6 months, I think.
Oh God! But they've all moved on. They got a new guy. They got a new guy in on Care 11. Seems okay, but he's brand new. Reggie, I think Reggie's his name.
Yeah, he's been on K-Fan.
Oh, has he? He's good?
Yeah, I think he's really good.
Okay, good.
I do like him.
See, the problem with Minnesota sports anchors, though, is none of them are like
Minnesota.
Then they're not hockey. Yeah. Like, I think Minnesota sports is like, you got to have some hockey blood in you.
Right.
And I think Dave Schwartz was like that, but he's moved on to, I think he's at like Bring Me the News Keith, I can't remember where he went to.
But yeah, you're right. But I think the reason for that is they're all implants. They're all from somewhere else.
True.
And hockey's not a big sport. Minnesota, Massachusetts, Michigan, other than that, it's not.
So do you think your kid could be the next big newscaster in sports?
I have brainwashed my daughter into being a meteorologist since she's been 2 years old.
Yes.
Because it's the only thing you can be wrong 50% of the time and still get paid a lot of money. So
she'd be great.
We were walking through St. Thomas College and she asked the one guy, she goes, "You guys got meteorology here?" He goes, "I've never been asked that question before." So I don't know. But sportscast or being a sportscaster would be super fun.
It would. Do you think news is in trouble?
Yeah, because everybody does it now.
Well, 24-hour news too, right? It's just like, and then I don't know if even writing that article, I was like, I don't know, people are even watch the news. I know maybe our age and up watches the news, but I don't think the younger generation gives a flying shit.
No, I don't either. I mean, we turn it on in the morning to see what the weather and the traffic's like and listen a little bit, but yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, I think it's in trouble.
Just
trouble. Like baseball. What's in bigger trouble, baseball or the news?
I say baseball.
Baseball's done.
Yeah, baseball's got a shelf life.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my dilemma too. I dropped my kid off at the golf course yesterday morning, which is funny, Monday morning at 9 a.m. And he's always been a baseball guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's fallen in love with golf.
Yes.
So is he going to, choose golf over baseball at some point?
I think he will. Hanging out with this weekend, I think he's choosing golf tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, he's a good golfer.
Yeah, he's doing all right.
He rips that ball. He's got a similar, I don't not say swing, but like when he hits that ball, that thing just goes flat.
Just climbs.
Line drive and just goes.
Right. It's weird.
And that's how you hit too. You don't even need to you don't take a lot of time. You don't have a lot of okay, what do I do here? You just step up and you crank. And that's how he does it too. And he's a good golfer.
Yeah, but unfortunately he's got me by about 40 or 50 yards, which is embarrassing for me. Yeah. God. 14 years old. I'm like, give me a break.
What are you thinking?
Wipe his nose in it.
What are you drinking there? What do you got?
It's a little Keeper's Heart.
Oh, yeah? Where's that from?
O'Shaughnessy's Distillery.
O'Shaughnessy Distillery. Keeper's Heart.
Yeah, do a great job over there.
They do a great job. And I've told my story about Keeper's Heart and O'Shaughnessy Distillery before. Great people. Met the guy at Certix when he was putting that stuff on the shelves for the first time. And it's delicious. He was the master distiller at Jameson. Moves to Minnesota, takes the best of American whiskey and Irish whiskey, and brings it together for Keeper's Heart.
Yeah, I've been very impressed. I honestly like it more than any other whiskey. And I drink Jameson and Crown, and and Woodford and all of it. And this is my favorite. And that's not just blowing smoke. It is really good whiskey.
It is good.
And if you haven't been to the distillery, man, it's a nice place.
It's fancy.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
Yeah.
You feel like a big shot there.
You do?
Yeah.
You do.
What did you think about when we walked in that liquor store in Chicago this weekend? And I almost turned down a free shot of Maker's Mark from that lady.
I couldn't believe you were going to say no. I'm like, why would you say no? I know it's 10 in the morning, but free shot of Maker's.
I just coached 2 hockey games and I wanted to just get back to the hotel.
But after the results of those 2 hockey games, you'd think you'd want one.
We won one of those games, didn't we? Or did we lose both?
I don't remember. It was all a blur.
It was all a bad blur. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it was a fun experience down there, but yeah, the boys didn't play well as a team.
No, they definitely did not play well as a team.
Yeah.
I'm hearing a little bit of audio
Yeah.
in my headphones right now.
I think
are we getting played out?
I think we're getting to the end, but it's funny. I got to go to Houston on Thursday morning.
Okay.
And our theme is the 60s and 70s. So we all got to dress up. So I'm like a hippie kind of Sonny Bono guy, right?
Wait, now. So you go for work?
This is work, yeah. And usually everybody's dressed up to the T's, right? But, our CEO said we're going to do something different because we're breaking records this year. And, the company's doing really well. So he said we're going to do a 60s and 70s theme.
Okay.
So I'm like some hippie, and it got me thinking about one of the funniest stories ever. Halloween night, I bring 2 guys over to my grandpa's house, and my mom and my grandpa are at the house.
Was your mom sleeping in the car in the driveway?
No, they were both tuned up pretty good though. So I bring them in, we sit at my grandpa's table, and my mom starts going crazy. She's like, "God damn it, Dad, you son of a bitch. I can't believe you did that." And she grabs a freaking fork out of the drawer and stabs him in the leg. I swear to God.
What?
I swear to God.
Your grandpa?
My grandpa. And my grandpa's like, "Oh, Jesus, Buck." He called her Buck. "Oh, Jesus, Buck. I'm so sorry. I won't do it anymore." And my buddies are looking at him like, "What in the fuck is going on right now? This is crazy."
In his leg.
They're like, "Yes, the fork is in his leg."
She didn't just go. Whoosh.
No, she did pull it out.
Okay.
So he's yelling. She's yelling at him, and my buddy's faces are white as a ghost. Then 2 seconds later, she's looking at them and everything, and she grabs a frying pan and she smashes him in the leg. Smashes him. And he's sitting there. I swear to God, it was so funny.
Did you live with the one of those guys?
Yeah, right. So he's just howling, "Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. Don't stop hitting me, blah, blah, blah." My buddy's faces are as white as a ghost. And it was Halloween nights. We had a party to go to. And I said, "Mom, is it okay if we leave?" And she's like, "Yeah, you better be home at whatever time." And I'm like, "Okay, I won't, I'll be on time. I'm sorry." So we walk outside and they said, "Is your mom okay?" And I said, "Well, she's been in and out of those homes." And they're like, "Oh my gosh, I thought she was going to kill us." So about 3 hours go by and I go, "Hey, my grandpa's got a wooden leg." They were so mad. They wanted to fucking kill me.
Your grandpa set him up.
Oh, they both set him up. I couldn't believe it. It was so just spontaneous, and they just it was great. One of the greatest stories ever.
So how thick is your grandpa's wooden leg that where like you couldn't tell if it's a thigh or a piece of lumber?
Well, he had a stump, like he only had half up his thigh, so the rest was hollow. And he said one of the worst parts about it is every time she does that,
right?
Because apparently she's done it more than once, he ruins his pair of pants. So he's got to get a new pair of pants. But no, that's just more of my mom and my family. But God dang, it's funny.
So when you went home the next day, was your mom just like,
"Oh, they were laughing. Yeah, they were laughing."
Guys.
I go, "Well, I told them, I go, you guys got them. That was unbelievable. I've never seen people more afraid in their lives."
You're like, "Don't come to the east side. That's what happens."
Yeah, absolutely.
We won't mess with you.
So anyways, hey, I want to give a little shout out to a couple guys. Dave Walden, happy 50th birthday yesterday.
Big 5-0.
Big 5-0. And my buddy Juke, been friends forever. So happy 50th. Not sure I'm going to make your party, but happy birthday, boys. Everybody, thanks for listening. Bobby Finn knows everyone. Be nice out there. Trust people. Be kind. We all get along better. Like I always say, don't be a dick.
Yeah.